Upgrade to Shore non-stop protection.
Right, let's get more build-up now to England's last 16 World Cup clash with Nigeria tomorrow.
Yeah, delighted to say we can head live to Brisbane now and join our reporter Jess Crichton. Jess, good afternoon to you over there. Less than 24 hours to go now. How are the team faring?
Yeah, I think the team are looking good. We know that they trained this morning earlier in Australia time in Adelaide. They're on a flight currently, making their way up to Brisbane here on the East Coast. We're just here outside the team hotel. We expect them to be arriving very shortly indeed. And as you rightly say, it's just a day out now until that game against Nigeria. We see the team arriving very shortly indeed. We expect the team bus to just come up the road. But I say that they're facing Nigeria. It's going to be a very, very tough challenge indeed. We do get to hear from the head coach, Serena Wiegman, a bit later. We'll also hear from defender Alex Greenwood as well to hear what they have to say. And this Nigeria side have been underestimated so far in this Women's World Cup. I've spoken to quite a few players who feel like they've been a little bit undervalued, and perhaps their 40th world ranking doesn't quite spell out how good they are. They're a team playing with confidence after getting points against Canada, the Olympic champions, and also the co-hosts Australia as well. But England will be confident themselves, particularly after that 6-1 thrashing of China in the last match, and not least because they have the special talent of Lauren James. Now, earlier I spoke to the director of women's football at the FA, Baroness Sue Campbell, and she told me that with Lauren James, England are a special team.
Well, she's still young, and we have to be careful, really, with her because she is young. But she's an exceptional talent. I mean, her control of the ball, but the power with which she hits the ball and the way she scored, she's remarkable. The danger is we've got to look after her, right? I don't mean that in a patronising way. We've got to make sure that we support her because the attention on her now is enormous, and it's that can actually begin to affect players' thoughts about themselves, you know, when they think suddenly they're the centre of attention. But no, she's absolutely probably a talent of her generation, actually. If you look at her, she's pretty special.
Now, Jess, obviously all the focus right now is on Kiera Walsh and how she's doing. Did Baroness Campbell give you any insight as to how she's getting on?
Yeah, as you can imagine, someone of Sue's stature remaining quite tight-lipped about the progress Kiera Walsh is making, but we do know that she trained earlier with the team down in Adelaide, which is really, really positive in terms of her recovery. We haven't got a confirmation on whether she'll be available for that next match, of course. But fingers crossed, England fans, that she will be able to play some part after training today. I spoke to Sue Campbell about how Kiera Walsh is taking it, and she said, well, she's taking it all in her stride. She's feeling quite comfortable with things. She's feeling quite confident, and she's progressing through the necessary protocol to make sure that she's fit and ready when her time comes to step back onto the pitch. Now, Kiera Walsh has been such a key part of this England side over the years. That's why when we saw her go down in that previous game that people were so worried. She's been influential for this England team, a massive part of why they won the European Championships last summer. And Sue Campbell agrees that Kiera Walsh is one of the best in the world.
Well, she's still young, and we have to be careful, really, with her because she is young. But she's an exceptional talent. I mean, her control of the ball, but the power with which she hits the ball and the way she scored, she's remarkable. The danger is we've got to look after her, right? I don't mean that in a patronising way. We've got to make sure that we support her because the attention on her now is enormous, and it's that can actually begin to affect players' thoughts about themselves, you know, when they think suddenly they're the centre of attention. But no, she's absolutely probably a talent of her generation, actually. If you look at her, she's pretty special.
Jess, there's been a big topic of conversation off the pitch, hasn't there, surrounding England's bonuses during the whole of this Women's World Cup, really. What's the latest?
Yeah, well, I asked, Sue Campbell directly about this. She has personal relationships with all the players, but also, of course, represents the FA as well. And it's all regarding player bonuses now. Of course, the players will receive a sum of money from FIFA for this competition, depending on how far they get into the tournament. But the players were pushing to have the FA top up those central payments in addition to what they would receive from FIFA, as they believe they are worth and as they believe they are entitled to. But as we know, discussions currently are on hold. The players have told us so, the FA have told us so. I did ask Sue Campbell if there had been any progression. Here's her response.
The players have said very clearly they don't want to discuss that any further, and therefore I will, absolutely agree to that. I will be happy to speak after the tournament. I hope it's not been too big a distraction, and they certainly seem to have got refocused and are very much focused on performance. So we'll talk about it later.
So clearly those discussions clearly on hold between the players and the FA. They want to focus on matters on the pitch, and they want to focus on getting this win against Nigeria tomorrow. It is worth noting that the FA did give out a large sum of money to families and friends of the players to ensure that they could travel over here to Australia to support the girls, some £10,000 for each player. I think it was important that the FA and Serena felt that camp life was right for these players. They wanted their friends and family to be here, to be that support network around the players. And Sue Campbell was very adamant that camp life is important because it translates to success on the pitch. Will they find success on the pitch tomorrow night against Nigeria? It's the round of 16. And a quarter-final tie awaits England if they can get past one of the strongest teams on the African continent.
Thank you so much, Jess.